All right, perfect. So thank you so much, Karolina, for joining us for this Q&A session for hiring managers. Can you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Karolina Austin. I am the Medical Records Director, Privacy Officer, and Compliance Officer for Winmore Healthcare here in St. Petersburg, Clearwater area. I have my RHIT, and I'm currently going to be working towards my RHIA. And I've been in the HIM field for over 10 years now.
Wow. Okay. All right. So before we jump into the questions, can you tell us about some of the positions in HIM that you've hired for, or if you're currently hiring positions in which you're currently hiring for?
Sure, absolutely. I've hired everything from coders to health information technology technicians to HIM managers, leads. I've hired IT support staff,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
co- compliance and risk management staff. I've sat on the committee of the hiring for compliance officers, risk management, privacy officers, um, and IT
Okay.
directors.
So you have a lot of experience hiring.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit fun here. So do me a favor, and to determine which question you are going to answer, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Let's go with 7.
7. Okay. So let's jump to question number 7. All right. So, question number 7. How do you feel about potential employees following up after an interview?
I really do expect potential employees to follow up within 2 to 3 days after their interview, because that tells me that they have the drive and the want for the position. And sometimes when I finish an interview, I do ask them to, give me a call back in a couple of days, and we can discuss where we're at in the hiring process, and we can follow up with any additional questions. It also gives them an opportunity to ask any additional questions they may or may not have asked during their interview. So it really shows me their drive, their character, and their ability to lead.
Oh, wow. I like that. Okay. So, just a follow up question. So, do you have a preferred method of follow up? Because I've had people ask me, well, I like to write a handwritten note, but now with snail mail, I mean, you'll get that handwritten note maybe almost 2 weeks later.
So I typically ask them to either give me a call or send me an email. A lot of times I prefer email only because I'm not always at my desk. And the email I can definitely follow up. And it also gives me the opportunity to see that they have some background in computer technology.
Very
In the
true.
high tech world, if you can't send an email, something's gonna not work out when you're working with computers all day long.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Thank you. All right. What's your next number?
Let's go with 10.
Okay. So, oh, the last question. So, in your opinion, what makes an individual qualified?
So, what I really look for in an individual is not just the education, but their ability to be a leader. I look for an individual who can think outside of the box and take the initiative to problem solve. Anybody can do the work. It's what you do with the work to improve the department. So I'm really looking for the candidate that can step up and shine, because eventually I'm looking for my replacement.
Wow. Wow. Ooh, I love that. Next number.
Let's go with 3.
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to resumes, do looks matter or is content king?
Both, in my opinion. If a resume does not look well put together, I bypass it. If you can't put a resume together, in my opinion, then you're unable to do the work that I'm asking of my team to do, because, a resume shows your capability of not only using computer skills, but it also shows, how you're going to process your reports, conduct any kind of productivity. And, if a resume is not well put together, then I don't have the faith that if I'm out or busy, can then this individual step up and go to a leadership meeting and walk in my shoes and do what needs to be done.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Next number.
Let's go with 4.
Okay. Okay. So, how can a candidate stand out amongst the rest?
From my experience, the candidates that stand out are the ones that have the drive and willingness to learn.
Mm,
Um, those individuals who understand that, there's always somebody who's has more knowledge, and are willing to accept that, this person can really teach me and show me different methods and techniques. I also look for an individual who can teach me, because I'm, not all knowing, and I want them to bring something new to the table. So an individual who can problem solve instead of coming and saying, here's the problem, what do I do? Come to me with the problem and the solutions you think best fit, and we can discuss it together. There's never one right way, and I'm looking for that individual who can be the leader, that has those strong capabilities of being, the next leader of the department.
all right. So, I think we covered four questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you have one more. What's that
Let's
last lucky number?
go to 8.
Okay. All right. So, what is the most unusual thing you've seen on a resume?
Oh, wow. I've seen everything from an individual being a horse trainer,
Uh-huh.
which was very unusual, but it did have merit,
Right. Of
working
course.
with the animals. I've seen an individual list things that were not true. In today's age, you can Google almost anything,
Mhm.
and an individual listed that they were a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and they were applying for an entry level medical records position.
Red
So,
flag.
that really was a red flag. And, they were really adamant that they were the CEO, but could be found nowhere on Google as a CEO or a previous CEO of this
Wow.
Fortune 500 company.
Wow. Okay. So let me share with you something that I saw recently on a resume that I thought was interesting. Someone decided to showcase their time management skills and they used a pie chart and they showed the hours that they spend working, the hours that they spend sleeping, playing sports, time with their children. I mean, they gave you the full 24 hours and how they divided all of their time. And I've never seen anything like that before. Um,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So that was unusual for me. So before we go, again, thank you so much. Do you have any last minute comments or any other advice for our audience?
Just that, take an entry level position, even though you're credentialed, you might graduate with your degree, an entry level position, and work your way up.
Mhm.
I've started from the bottom, and within a couple of years, moved myself up into a director role. You just got to get your foot in the door. A lot of people want to see what you can bring to the table before, they're willing to give you those management positions.
Right.
So, just work your way up, become strong leaders. In today's day and age, we need those leaders who can take these departments to the next level. Whether you are fully electronic or becoming electronic, project management planning is the
Mm,
number one thing that a lot of managers look for. Not just somebody to do the work, because to do the work, you don't have to have a credential. We want those leaders who can really take charge and make a big difference.
I agree. Yep. So again, thank you so much for your time today, Carolina. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
All righty. Bye-bye.